I don't tell the men that I date I'm transgender. And we're going to show you this guy. I mean, it's a guy. You can see him there. And I take a bit of issue with the New York Post. It, you know, I guess they're trying to. I don't know why they always do like the preferred pronouns for people. I just don't know why. A single woman has revealed. Why are you doing that? Why are you playing pretend? I don't know. But this is what the New York Post writes. We'll blow it up for you. Again, I don't tell the men that I date that I'm transgender is the title. And here's the explanation as such. A single woman has revealed that she doesn't tell men she's transgender straight away as people are, quote, too judgmental, saying she likes to wait until she's sure she wants to take things further. So this person going by Adia Danielle, who's 22 years old, always felt like there was something missing. And here's the crazy part about it. When this person was 16 years old and growing up, stumbled across a YouTube video and realized she was transgender. I'm going to take a drink so you can soak that in. Drink it in even. This person was 16 and watched a YouTube video which convinced them that they're actually transgender. And after realizing she was in the wrong body, Adia told her mom, and soon after began her journey to become a woman. I feel like this person's writing this on purpose because even if you were, I don't know, mandated to use the preferred pronouns, which you are not in the United States, you have freedom of speech, you don't have to write it this way. It means it's a company choice or that the person is doing it on their own accord. So either they're being told to do that or they're not being told either way, and they're doing it like on their own accord. And I tend to lean to the latter because they're using an awful lot of she, her where it's not necessary, where they can put the person's last name or they or anything like that, or whatever they want to put into place. But there's a lot of she and her in there. So I'm um, tending to believe that they're doing this on purpose. We can see more pictures of this male. And of course, they're from Canada. Despite being finally comfortable in her body, the Canadian influencer with over 138,000 followers on Instagram says she chooses often not to disclose the fact that she's transgender to men, which is often met with backlash. I wonder why. And it gets more narcissistic as we go on and self-delusional. And this is why you can't play into this lie. And even though people say, it's hateful and you're hurting them, there's no evidence that it makes it better if you play along with the lie. Just like you don't, you know, if you don't tell somebody they got something on in their teeth, just because you don't want to be mean, be the person to be mean and tell them immediately, it makes it worse in the long run because then they're walking around with stuff in their teeth. A silly comparison, but I think it goes to the idea that you're not actually helping somebody by not telling them the truth. Here's what they say. Oh, I hate these. Don't you guys hate these banner pop downs? I truly despise them. Like, what am I supposed to do here now? I got to scroll back down and it starts going away. There's so much around the trans label. And if a guy were to learn that I'm trans before, he would make up a whole idea of how I am and how I must act. I don't think that's what it is, actually. I don't think the reason why men change their opinion once they find out that you were born a man, I don't think it's because they come up with a whole idea of who you are and how you act. I think it's the fact that they're home. Now, this isn't to be mean, but this is just to be the reality of the situation where this person thinks that it has nothing to do with the fact that they're a man. And we're born a man, and up until 16, where a man went through puberty as a man, it actually has to do with the fact that they think that your personality is going to be a certain way and you're going to act a certain way. So that's, we're straddling the line here as we look at pictures of him as a boy and then through surgeries. I want him to get to know me, the person says. So I just tell them when I'm interested and when I want to take things further. So you know that the person thinks you're a woman, and in that way you're sort of omitting the truth is the best way you can look at it, and then you wait till you think the time is right, and then you tell the person that you actually have been lying about their identity. Imagine, you could say that a person, Rachel Dolezal is going to let you think that she's black the whole time and then tell you maybe at the end. But this person sees no problem with it. Adia explained it's common when dating not to disclose your full past until the relationship has developed. It's my past, and you're not going to meet somebody and tell them everything that happened in your past, she said. Online guys often comment, "Oh, you're lying to men," but then how can they say I'm lying if I present myself as a woman? So they're basically saying I'm a man. Yes, yes, they are basically saying that. This person thinks that you being a man biologically, and I don't know what surgeries they've had, is akin to, telling a person you were adopted, or telling a person that, you went to a private school, or telling a person that your father was in the military, so you moved around a lot. A person's not, so you can say that a person not shouldn't be privy to your past at all, and then you tell them, and they can change their mind. But that's exactly what they're allowed to do. Once a person learns about who you are, they're allowed to change their mind. If you tell a person, "Oh, actually, I murdered 3 people when I was younger," they're allowed to think of you in a different light. And if you want to think that's an extreme example, sure. If you tell somebody you were a pickpocket or a criminal when you were a kid, if you tell somebody that maybe you were abused or something, if you tell somebody that maybe you were a billionaire child, you didn't want to tell somebody that you were a billionaire, they might think differently of you because you're presenting yourself differently. That's entirely their right. And for this person to say, not only they say I'm lying, how can they say I'm lying if I present myself as a woman? Because you are lying. That's the thing. You're present How would you be presenting yourself as a woman when you're just a woman? It's not I'm not presenting myself as a doctor because I'm a doctor. Like, I'm presenting myself as one. You see the card it should be a cardinal and easy difference. This is like grade 4 difference here. But for some reason after 2017-ish, that ballpark, it became, you have to go to remedial levels here, and you can't say that this doesn't make any sense at all or else you're hurting people. You can't say that, just because I'm pretending to be something that I'm not that. You can't say that. And then they're basically saying I'm a man. They're not basically saying that you're a man. They are saying that you're a man. And if you wonder why all these men are saying that you're a man, the problem is probably you, I would wager. Growing up, Adia recalls dressing in her mom's clothes and wanting to play with her sister's toys, and believes her family knew she was, quote, different, which is fine. Nobody cares. Literally nobody cares about that. Um, Adia believes not much is known about transgender people outside of the community, saying it's often thought that people wake up and decide their gender when in fact it is not a choice. See, the problem with that is that they have positioned it so that you can do that though. You can't question it. And in this person's case, you cannot question the fact that they just say that they're a woman. So on one hand, you don't want people to question it at all and you want them to just accept it. But then you wonder why people say that you've just woken up and chosen your gender. Well, when there can be no conversation, and there can be no burden of proof on the person claiming to be a woman, in this case, you can just say it, then there's going to be people who think the worst of you. I'm sorry to tell you. It doesn't it People just don't have to believe you. And that seems to be the biggest thing, the biggest problem. I was watching a Michael Knowles thing yesterday about him talking to protesters at his event that said he is, transphobic, blah blah blah. And why would a person say that they're a woman if they're not a woman? People make things up. People are influenced by things. There's a big problem in this, in the Gen Z, where, you just have to believe people. You don't believe certain subsects of people because you've labeled them as evil, whether it be Republican or straight men or something, or women who want to have their own locker rooms or not have men in their sports. Those people are bad. We've established that. But other people who politically align with you, they have to be believed. And that's a weird stance that we've gotten into lately. So previously, apparently, Adia hit headlines after revealing the complications they suffered after going a Brazilian butt lift. So if you are a woman and you're just presenting yourself as one, and somebody should just believe you, then why do you need a butt lift? That's what I don't understand. There's supposed to be no concrete definition of what is a woman. It should be whatever you want to be is a woman if you just call yourself one. And then but for some reason, these people still go out and they get butt lifts and they get this undergoing gender affirming surgery, which of course is a pretend word that we made up to say plastic surgery and, plasties and gynoplasties and penoplasties and whatever the words are. So why do you need to, look like like a stereotypical woman if there's no such thing as woman? That's what doesn't make any sense. And then they talk about, putting gauze in the places where you don't want to talk about putting gauze in the places. There's another picture of this guy where I hope you could tell that it's a guy up close, but maybe some people can't. Uh, there's garnered immense support online, such as this article, and this banner still in the way. This is the picture I think you can really tell. I mean, you know, do what you want, I guess, but like if you think you have the right to mislead people, and then when they find out you've been misleading them, they don't like you and they're not allowed to do that. I mean, there's a reason, and the reason that they go with is that it's everybody's fault but mine, because society and social media has told me for a few years now that this is the greatest thing in the world. And that's where we are on that topic. I wish stuff was funnier.